This perfume is often called beautiful, but brutal. It's consistently named as one of the best on 3 different lists. Best leathers, best sheephood, and best feminine perfume for men. Can you already guess what it is? Welcome to Smellomania, a perfume review channel where I analyze fragrances by drawing them. Today I'll be following an intriguing request from one of my viewers, Bandit by Robert Piguet, an intriguing, groundbreaking, mind-blowing classic that turns 81 this year. There aren't many perfumes that held out for that long, and you can still buy them today. First, let me tell you the amazing story behind this perfume. It was launched in 1944, just at the end of the Second World War. A perfume meant to be worn by an independent lady who dares to smoke in public. Bandit was created by Germaine Cellier for the Robert Piguet brand. It was inspired by romantic sea voyages and pirates. And then Robert Piguet created a very daring clothing collection based on a bad boy concept. The models were strutting around the stage with villain masks, toy guns, and swords. Just a short reminder, this was in 1944 during the Second World War, and the scent that was lingering in the air was Bandit. My absolute favorite phrase from the official website about Bandit is that it's a fragrance composition light years ahead of its time. A perfumer's perfume. But what does Bandit smell like to a modern nose? What does Bandit smell like to me today? It smells very, even aggressively clean. There's so much more to the composition than this cleanliness, but I'll talk about that later. I've spent 2 weeks analyzing this perfume and even tried to wear it to some gatherings. But I have to admit, it didn't boost my confidence. On the contrary, the first days, I even secretly hoped that people wouldn't be able to smell my perfume of choice. All the time I felt like a dozen of tiny soap bars were trying to bite me or infuse me with their cleanliness using other methods. I can sense a huge animalistic beast underneath all that cleanliness. And that's what breathes life into Bandit. This huge, hairy, leathery entity isn't strong or overpowering. No, it's just there. It's holding space and keeping the perfect balance. It's like the smoothest bass line in a sick jazzy riff. You don't immediately discern it, but without it, the music just wouldn't be the same. And that huge hairy beast just took a shower and is now strutting around town wrapped into a towel and screaming to everyone, "Look, I just showered! I'm such a clean beast!" And this is the perfect time to look at the official Bandit notes I found on their website. Top notes: aldehydes. They give that absolutely soapy, even a bit fatty impression to the perfume. Galbanum, neroli. Both of these notes have a green and bitter profile. Middle notes: carnation, It gives a soft and floral impression. Jasmine may be one of the culprits behind that beastly sexiness. Violet, a soft, powdery touch that lifts those squeaky clean aldehydes into a different level of cleanliness. Base notes, oak moss, one more bitter counterpart. Leather. This is not a leathery fragrance. This leather note just makes Bandit feel alive and with a body of its own. Vetiver and patchouli. Both ground the perfume nicely. I wore Bandit out in public just to collect some reactions. I didn't attack people straight away with my questions and my wrist in their faces. I just let them accept the olfactory situation of the day for a few hours and only then brought up Bandit. They admitted that they'd sensed something vintage and clean earlier. Younger friends just silently wrinkled their noses at my wrist. One older lady said that it's not very pleasant to her nose, but she feels somehow attracted to smell it once again, and again, and maybe again. My mom stood silent and seemed to be enjoying her own memories. She admitted that Bandit reminded her of her mother's vanity table filled with powders, lipsticks, and perfumes. And one friend gave my wrist the shortest humanly possible sniff and added quite loudly, I love Indian perfumes. Indian? I asked with deep disbelief. Oh yes, she said, just like this one. And you know, she wasn't wrong. Bandit is listed as an oriental fragrance on the official Robert Piguet website. I would never classify this perfume as oriental, but it gives such a unique perspective on how differently people perceive fragrances. When you're thinking that you're smelling like a badass leathery vintage pirate or an emancipated smoking lady, someone might come up to you and compliment your beautiful oriental choice of perfume. Bandit is not meant to be worn by the faint of heart. It truly demanded me to become as brave as ever, to finally fully appreciate it and to be able to wear it out in public. I'll admit it. Bandit was the most challenging perfume for me to wear, ever, because it has such a strong character and it instantly transforms you into someone else. In this case, I felt like I was smelling like a preppy gentleman from the last century. What will people think? I know, it's hilarious since I'm okay with wearing the weirdest stuff. And it was so freeing to explore my olfactory boundaries. They truly got pushed even further during the making of this video. Creating the review of Bandit truly transformed me. It was all about courage. Courage to wear this perfume out in public and courage to ask for your support. Over these years on YouTube, I've drawn hundreds of drawings and painted hundreds of paintings. And I have so many more stories to tell, so much more to smell and analyze in my own unique way. My dear followers, you are the kindest, smartest, most creative and most attentive audience I could ever ask for. It would mean the world to me if you would consider supporting my artistic journey and the growth of this channel on Patreon. There I'll be posting fun and short perfume reviews twice a month. and continue posting big and polished videos on YouTube. And of course, I'll credit all of my patrons in my future videos. And those of you who decide to join will find one new video waiting for you on the platform. And if you don't feel like committing to Patreon, you can always support my journey directly through PayPal. I will leave all the links below in the video description. Your help for the channel would be endlessly, insanely appreciated. I knew how my final piece was going to look almost instantly after smelling Bandit. I could sense that enormous greenery and bitterness and immediately saw orange blossoms in front of my eyes. I knew that one piece of my drawing had to involve an orange tree and accentuated grasses. They just have to be there to help me portray that enormous bitterness of the perfume. My dear neighbor, who's a keen supporter of my channel and the perfume reviewer himself, read that exact comment that asked for a review of Bandit and immediately lent me a bottle. He also shared that his favorite time to wear Bandit is when he puts on his leather jacket. So I immediately knew that a leather jacket had to be included in my final piece. Not only as a tribute, but because Bandit truly has that leathery, furry and animalistic vibe. And the main thing that stood out to me the most were the aldehydes that give Bandit that absolutely soapy and clean vibe. I chose to depict them as a bubbly basin, just perfect to soak your feet in. I drew a pair of leather jacket wearing friends who are soaking their feet out in the fields in the middle of the night, sheltered under blossoming orange trees. Just the perfect time to light up a smoke or two. Thank you so much for staying with me on this exciting journey back in time. Give Bandit a try at your local shop, see what you think and let me know. And I would be insanely grateful if you consider joining my Patreon. Thank you once again and see you soon.